Hello, everyone. I'm here with Dr. Paul Nachos,
Yeah.
right? Or is that Dr. Paul
I,
Goodman?
I like Dr. Paul Nachos. It's more exciting. So
It's crazy. My kids always when I wear these T-shirts and hoodies, they're like, "What is a dental nacho?" I got to go into explanation. It means it's a combination of everything dentistry.
yeah, I
But
like that. Your team also, Bob, they've been wearing some nacho swag.
oh yeah, they fight over it. They say it's a
Yeah.
really good quality stuff.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah. Paul is the founder of Dentist Job Connect. I like to call it the dental Indeed,
Yeah.
meaning jobs for associates. And if the owners want to look for an associate, I have an ad up there for an associate, for my very first associate. So Paul and I wanted to talk about how this whole thing works. And it's very nerve-wracking for someone like me who's hiring their first
Yeah.
associate. Am I going to be able to keep them busy? Am I going to be able to keep them happy? I'm very worried about um, the welfare of my associate because I was taken advantage of as an
Yeah.
associate. So there are a lot of things that you can actually help them, right, Paul?
Yeah. I mean, we strive to do, I created this to solve my own problem during the pandemic. Not only did our amazing babysitter decide to move to San Diego, my associate moved to a place that you love, Bob, San Francisco. And because his wife got into a medical residency program. So I had an associate at my practice working, knowing the patients, and I had to replace him. And at that time, Bob, I was a high level recruiter and I would charge $10,000 to $20,000 per position. So of course I could have done that for myself for free, right? I could have given, but I said, it's not easy to find associates when you need them. How do you build a bench? How do you know who's looking for a job? So I created Dentist Job Connect, super friendly, affordable, and amazing. It's like a tenth of the price of what you would pay a recruiter to find an associate. And it gives you access to a lot of choices. I was just talking to my team, Bob. There's nothing wrong with recruiting. High level recruiting in any field is part of finding good people, right? But they're often a little bit weird about how they deliver the person. They go, "Hey, Dr. Bob, I got this one associate, Dr. Joe. If you like Dr. Joe, you can hire Dr. Joe and pay me 15 grand. If you don't like him, I'll introduce you to someone else from my lane of associates." And I kind of just thought that was odd. Why not meet multiple associates? Why not interact with them themselves? Do I find out what favorite burr your associate likes? No, that's your job, right? So I think, Bob, we talk about recruiting in general. There's a lot of challenges to the traditional recruiting model, not just with cost, but also with being able to explain your story. So like you're on our platform, people sign up. Right now, the packages are $1,000 to $2,500. They get access to over 1,000 resumes. We post their job on Facebook, Instagram, our emails, text messages. And you just saw Dr. Arash. He's hired 4 associates through our platform. He definitely owes me a margarita or a ticket to the next time the Eagles play the 49ers, Bob, because those 4 associates probably going to cost $60,000 plus, and he paid just a fraction of that.
Yeah, and that's the one thing I want to kind of comment because I hear from some people discussing this that if you consider an associate is going to make, let's say, $200,000 a year.
Yeah.
Okay. Jobs like that in the real world, not connected to dentistry,
Yeah.
the recruiters ask for a lot of money.
Oh yeah, easily $30,000 could be $30,000 easy.
Yeah, and with the Dentist Job Connect, which is our sponsor, by the way, sponsor of our group, are they? How much does it usually cost? Like 2,500 is your max.
I mean, we have a 6
package?
month. You can to advertise for 2 months. It's $1,000. To advertise for 6 months, it's $2,500. So you get a price break the longer you're on there. Also, with the 6-month package, we do a video with you about your practice. You get a book, associate manual. But what I share with them is that not only can you wait for people to apply, you can also search the resume database. So one of our clients in Oregon, about my age, we did a video. He's gotten a few applications. We actually now have a 2 application guarantee. So we'll keep your ad up until you get 2 applicants. But he got 2+ applicants, Bob, but his place in Oregon, it's not a traditional place dentists move to. So he went through the list and he's interviewing someone. that he reached out to and told his story to. So one of the best ways that you're sensitive to having associates not being taken advantage of, reach out and share your story about how you're not going to take advantage of them. It's a great way to get people to, I mean, here's the thing. I talk about preserving private practice. You know, I work with DSOs, private practice, Pris too. You were at the Level Up event. DSOs were speaking, private practices. Why do you think DSOs are hiring so many associates right now? What's your thought process?
You know how I feel. You know, DSOs are hiring because they can't keep them.
That's part of it.
You know, that the associates have a shelf life of 2 to 3 years in a DSO practice. But I don't want to put the DSOs down, because that may be true for a lot of private practices as well.
And also, the hard story is, without DSOs, there would be a lot of unemployed dentists less than 3 years out of schools. And what DSOs is, they have a system. I worked for this company, Bloomberg, and when I was 16 years old, 30 years ago, 29 years ago, Bloomberg would hire grads from Ivy League schools and good schools. He would pay them okay-ish, and they'd stay for 2 or 3 years and move on. And he had a system to replace them. So DSOs have systems to replace their associates. It doesn't mean they're perfect. Private practice is not, but they are used to playing the game of dentisting basketball, like yours, with newish grads. Private practices need to understand that an associate's an investment. It's not going to make you money off the bat, but it's going to unlock more free time, more sanity, fewer hygiene checks, and really the opportunity for you to have more flexibility. I mean, hey, Bob, you say you think dentistry is a great profession, right? You say that, right?
Of course, yeah.
Is it a geographically flexible profession? Can you pick up and move across the country once you own a practice?
But I don't define a great profession based on mobility.
Right. No, and you're right. I was talking with Todd Fleischman last night about you. Living in the city is awesome. And I have to be cautious when I take my children out at night. Right. Living in the city is awesome. And we have fewer good public schools in the city. Both of those things are true. So being a dentist can be awesome. And you have to basically run this circus day in and day out. That can be frustrating. So when you have an associate to help you minimize this stress, even if it costs you money, I encourage solo practice owners like Bob and Mitchell Rubenstein to lean forward and find out more about it.
You know, I joke about this, that you guilt me into trying to hire an associate, but you're so right. It's like, it takes a while. I mean, I have thankfully 8 or 9 applications to my job, and I'm reaching out little by little, and I may be close to hiring someone. But the whole thing about it is, it's so strange that we have no insurance policy on ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, like, if God forbid I get into a car accident and now I can't work for 3 months, what am I doing? Am I shutting down?
What if you just get a shoulder surgery? And how are you going to pay your team? Do you care about them? Because I want to share with you, most dentists can weather no income for 90 days, and most team members can't. So who's going to be there for your team?
Right. And that's the whole thing. And you know, it's a good idea to promote this group practice model.
Right.
You know, it doesn't have to be a DSO or having multiple offices, but having 2 or 3 people within a practice.
I love that. I want to interject. You saw Peter Bolden speak from the Bulletproof Summit. We went out to dinner the night before with Link Harris and Kyle from Delaware. He has 6 or 7 practices, and he has no interest in selling to a DSO right now, but he has a tremendous amount of interest of scaling what he's doing. And he's totally non-clinical now because he's managing 15 associates. So hiring associates is not to roll up your practice and sell to a DSO tomorrow. It's to give yourself a lot more flexibility and freedom. And if you have to make the dental donuts yourself day in and day out, while you may make the most amount of income year in and year out, you also have the most vulnerability, as you said.
Yes, absolutely. It's all about creating an insurance policy for yourself. I know I have to tell you, I'm going to announce this in the group as well. I just did something crazy for the first time in 30 years. I literally bought an extra vacuum and a compressor. And now I am ready because I lost my vacuum the other day. I
Yeah,
had to
I
use
remember I
some.
saw that.
Yeah. So and now I have two of each, and that's an insurance policy for me. The same thing as an associate. You give up some of the income to the associate. In return, you have time and you have security of your business, basically.
And also try to do, this is what I share with people. Ask people if they've hired an associate and if they wish they did it sooner. And you get 9 out of 10 saying yes. You're going to be one of those people on here saying, I'm glad Paul Goodman kindly annoyed me. I wish I met him sooner. And I want to share with you because Mitchell Rubenstein's wife on Sunday was saying, thank you, Paul. Thank you for making him hire an associate. But if you think about that, Bob, that's not super cool of dentists, right? Your family loves you. They want you to see you more. They don't want you to be tied to your office, but you're so disturbed that you can't possibly bring in somebody to see your patients. So Mitchell, who's just, I love just as much as you, I'm glad he says, Paul Goodman told me to hire an associate.
Yeah, Mitch and I actually, we're very similar.
Yeah.
I'm not as smart as he is because I take PPOs and I deliver good quality dentistry. But Mitch and I graduated the same year. We're
Yeah.
basically on the same path, and in two different major metropolitan areas. But yeah, he was telling me that it's time.
And he's gotten 20 plus applicants. He's close to hiring someone. And this is why I do what I do. Dentists do transform smiles. I hope that I contribute to transforming lives. I still am a dentist in my practice 1 day a week. I still have done a lot of implants. I'm proud of those cases, but I'm just as proud of Dr. Todd Fleischman saying, I can go on vacation without stress. I know that when I have to manage something at the office on Wednesdays, someone else is there to check one of my 3 hygienists. And that freedom that frees you up. I'm not saying freedom to go on a vacation to the Maldives, just freedom to operate in your office without having to do all the work. I mean, how many times are we texting you say, Paul, I got to text you later. The office is going crazy. That's every dentist every day.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I always say to my kids as well, I'm saying you can buy almost anything. Even these days, you can buy good health with a lot of good money. The only thing you can't buy is time.
For sure.
Time passes on, and you can't go back. So it is what it is. We have chosen a path to be an entrepreneur, and the life of an entrepreneur is a lot of sacrifices. But at some point, we need to distinguish between where we want to spend that time now.
Yeah.
The practices after a few years has been fruitful, and now it's time to look. And looking, as you and I discussed it, don't wait until 2 weeks before you're ready. It takes 3 to 4 months to look and choose an associate, right?
And of course, and that's why I say to dentists in my vision, Bob, of growing this, I want people to be more proactive. So if you were a dentist, I highly recommend this. Get a $995 ad and say, I am a dental practice owner in Austin, Texas, and I would love to connect with associate dentists that are growth minded, and say, right now, I do not have an open position, but I may have one in the future, and I would just like to meet you. If some dentists did that, they would get to meet the next generation of dentists, build their bench like the Warriors. We'll see if they'll win tonight or not, Bob. We'll see after when you play this. But most dentists, they're not proactive like that. And I'm hoping to inspire them. I mean, do you think that's a good idea? Get a $1,000 ad, promote where you are, and just ask dentists to connect with you to talk about growth mindset.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are in competition for associates as well.
Yeah, right.
The private practices need to understand that there are DSOs taking pizzas to dental schools, right?
Yeah.
And
also DSOs, Bob, they have more options, because I want to tell you, there's a dentist is flying from the middle of the country to work in Philadelphia for a DSO through Job Connect. And this dentist has 8+ years experience, and this dentist can do surgery, and it's the right move for this dentist, and they're easily going to make over $200,000 a year. But that's what DSOs have. They have more options, whether you're a 10 office DSO, a 40 office, a 400 office. Your practice owner that you bought 5 years ago retires, Bob, and that dentist was doing $1 million a year. Well, now you have a need. So DSOs do often have attractive openings. So for private practices to compete, they should offer mentorship, morale, training, and, you know, create an opportunity for their colleague.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Do you have anything else to add?
No, I mean, I just am thrilled to collaborate with you guys, be a sponsor, kindly annoy dentists into thinking in a different way. Watch this. Watch this. Is your spouse excited that you're going to have an associate, Bob?
You know, she is praying that I don't mess it up.
Okay, well, that's a lot of spouses. But Mitchell Rubenstein's spouse is happy he's hiring an associate. Go home and have a discussion with someone who loves you and just say, would you like it if I had less time chairside? And see what they have to say. It doesn't mean hire an associate tomorrow, but there's people that love and care about you that actually know that you're not passionate about dentistry. You're obsessed with it. You're obsessed with your office, and it's not healthy. So there's this magical thing. A 2-day-a-week associate can come in and create freedom. And I really am proud to be doing that with you, Bob.
Yeah, thank you, Paul. Thank you for pushing me to understand actually this whole concept. And I invite everyone to actually start thinking about it. If you're not even ready, start thinking about where you are in your career and your practice. We all need to make the right decisions going forward. Again, I want to thank you for joining me today, and hopefully the Warriors will win.
I don't know. I kind of want to see Lakers Nuggets, but we'll see. I do like you. I guess there's nothing bad can happen. Warriors win. You can go on your sports Facebook group and gloat. And if the Lakers win, I'm going to see LeBron in the conference championship.
Yeah, we shall see. We shall see. Thanks, Paul. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Bob.